Hey everyone, I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you about a personal experiment that I'm currently doing. But before we start, a quick disclaimer, this is not personal advice, no medical advice or advice of any sorts. This is just some experience that I'm sharing with you. Alright, so if you followed me and some of my past videos, you probably have an idea that I do like experiments. And so every now and then I set out to challenge myself, push my limits, and figure out where they are and where it gets too painful. Recently I was on a phone with a friend of mine who's also an entrepreneur, and he mentioned that he was at that moment on day 5 of a 7-day fast. So I thought it was really interesting. I never personally fasted, never really believed in fasting. But then again, I've read a lot of positive things about intermittent fasting, and I thought, maybe this is an interesting mental challenge. So about a month ago, I did a 7-day fast where I would only eat very small amounts of food every day. Usually that was like 1 or 2 fruit juices per day, and I tried to live a very normal life. Other than that, just no food. About 10 days ago, well actually 12 days ago today, I decided to restart the experiment and this time go with a water only fast. Now this changed things. I've not eaten anything in 12 days and I feel great, but that was not always the case. I want to walk you through my experience so far. So about 12 days ago, I was on my way to a retreat in Italy with EO. We started on a Wednesday morning very early, and I decided to redo the experiment and go with no food at all. Unfortunately, we went to Italy and everyone else was having 5-course lunches and dinners, and I was just looking at food. The first day was easy. First day of a fast, at least for me personally, is super easy. There's not really, other than the psychological element, and there's no pain at all. Second day was really hard. I got what you could call the keto flu. Keto flu from the ketogenic diet. When you deplete your body of carbs or carbohydrates, you get into a flu-like status. I had very low energy, I had a headache the whole day. It was very hard for me to do any kind of physical exercise. Even just walking up a hill was a pain, and I needed a lot of sleep. But then day 3 was extremely good. Day 3, I felt pretty healthy, I felt lean, clean, I had a lot of energy, I needed less sleep than before, which makes sense, right? My body didn't have to process food anymore. I think in the afternoon of day 3 was when I finally reached ketosis and my body learned how to produce energy directly from fat or fat storage, and that's also when I started to lose weight. Today I'm on day 12 of the experiment. I think I'm gonna go till day 14, so 2 more days. I have to say I feel great overall, but I do not feel as energetic as otherwise. I feel very lean, I feel very clear, focused, but when I go to the gym, I can't lift the same amount of weights if I'm doing exercises. Now why? Why am I doing this? Well, for one, I really do like the challenge. I really like the mental strength that is required to go through 12 or 14 days without food. But then it also, I think it has a lot of healthy benefits. For one, I've lost a ton of excess fat storage in my body. Not a ton, but about 10% of my body weight is gone. And I feel a lot cleaner, focused, lean, which usually comes with the ketogenic diet for me as well. Which makes sense, right? Because I didn't eat anything else, I didn't eat any carbohydrates, and that way my body just had to create energy from fat, which is basically the same as living in ketosis or being in ketosis. Now, over the weekend I was on a 3-day survival training course, and there was quite a bit of physical activity. Sometimes I would get a little weak, or I would feel that I'm closer to my energy limits than I would otherwise be, but at the same time it was a great experience. And everyone else who was eating regularly up until Friday before we left had a really big down on the second day because they didn't give us a lot of food. It was also interesting how, because I had already adjusted to the status or the state of mind of fasting, that everyone else was so looking for food all the time, and so I think it was mostly psychological, but still, you could basically see them like urging to get their hands on food, whereas I could focus on, I was a lot more relaxed, I was a lot more focused on the task at hand. And so overall, it was a great experience. All right, that's it. I just wanted to share this real quick, how my experience has been going so far. As I said, I'm gonna do this another 2 days, and then I think after 14 days, I'm just gonna stop. There's no point in pushing the boundaries too far. Also, I'm just looking forward to a good steak or some healthy food. I'm probably gonna start small. Well, actually, that's something I wanted to share. So at the beginning, what I saw with this time and the time before when I had little food, is that at the beginning I would usually think, oh, when I'm finally gonna be able to eat again, the first thing I'm gonna eat is like chocolate cake or big steak or whatever. And then after, I'd say about 3 or 4 days, my mind automatically tunes into or focuses more on much healthier stuff like salads, cooked vegetables, maybe a small piece of meat. So that's been a really interesting experience for me. And with that, I hope maybe some of you are inspired, maybe some of you have some ideas or comments. If so, please leave them below. And with that, I'll talk to you soon.